It's 126.
Josh?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for doing this.
No problem. So right now we're just gonna wait for folks to join us here today, and we'll start in a couple minutes. But how's
Perfect.
your day going?
It's good. It's good. Can you hear me okay? Is everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. I have my AirPods on, but like it's not actually transferring to my phone, so I'm just gonna keep them on for style, I guess.
I like that. That's good. Good. So what year are you at Cal?
So I'm just finishing up here my sophomore year at Cal. Hopefully we're able to go back in the fall.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
declared legal studies major, so I just finished up my degree requirements for legal studies, and for my second degree, I'm thinking American studies as well. But I
yeah.
noticed that you're a very smart individual yourself. I noticed you did both poli sci and philosophy at Cal, right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I looked into the programs. You know, they take a lot. It takes a lot of hard work to really do both at Cal. It's really difficult. So I really commend you for that.
Well, I appreciate that, but I didn't do legal studies. That's serious stuff too. So good for you. Are you thinking about law school or what's interesting to you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited and thinking about law school. Um, Maybe Berkeley Law. I know they have the number one IP program in the nation, and I'm really interested in IP law as well. So
Oh,
I'm
well,
excited for that. Hopefully, we're able to get into the program in a couple
yeah,
years.
yeah. That's cool. It's great. Where are you from
So
originally, Jesus?
Oh, so I'm from California's beautifully and agriculturally friendly Central Valley. So
What
Riverbank,
part?
California. It's
Where-
it's called Riverbank, California. So it's near the town or the city of Modesto. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know. Do you know where Modesto's at?
yeah, yeah. Of course, of course.
And are you from the San Francisco Bay Area?
Yeah, from the North Bay.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're gonna start in exactly 1 minute, right when it's exactly
Okay.
1:30. But I hope your day is going well. And I know it's nice and sunny out here. How is it in the Bay? Is it nice and cloudy?
I'm actually in
Or is it,
Sacramento. I'm in the capital right now, right next to the
okay,
capital. So yeah, yeah. So it is. It's getting warm outside.
nice. Yeah, definitely. So, with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me here today and for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me. I know that you're a very busy person yourself, and you know we were able to snag this interview, and I was just really excited to meet with you. I actually didn't know that your position. I just knew that your position existed just like a little over a month ago when you watched my video on how we can continue to serve our communities right now during this time. And I know Sandra Bass at the UC Berkeley Public Service Center was the one who connected us together. So I just want to say a big shout out to the UC Berkeley Public Service Center for doing incredible work and for trying to create a more equitable world. So for those folks out there, really give thanks to the UC Berkeley Public Service Center. There's some amazing work going out there at the Public Service Center in order to create a more just and equitable world. Thank you so much, Casey, for liking, and Sandra as well. We really appreciate that. So that's a shout out to the Public Service Center as well. And I just want to say, yeah, I'm glad that you really like. Did you like my video? I just wasn't sure. I just heard that you liked the video, but I just like
I
never.
did very much. No, I love your spirit and the spirit of your whole community of people who are stepping up in a big way and want to care about each other now, which is more important than ever. So just excited to be with you today and talk to all your friends in your community, but love the message that you're spreading. Love the Berkeley love that you're spreading around as well. So thank you for that. I'm wearing the wrong polo today. I should be wearing my Cal polo. So go Bears. But it's really fun to be with you. Thank you.
Go Bears! Oh, this year, you know, was a very special year for us at UC Berkeley as we have the Stanford Axe right now. It's sitting very beautifully on the Berkeley campus right now. So I also just made a video for those folks. It's going to be uploaded probably in a couple weeks about my experience here at Cal as well. So we're excited to see that. So go
Great.
Bears, go UC Berkeley. And if you're from that weird school in the South that trees and stuff. That's not us. We're the Golden Bears. So thank you so much, Josh, as well as a Cal alum. So now we're just going to get started now with like some of the questions I have for you just to start it off. So can
Great.
you share with our audience a little bit more about your role here in the California state government in the office of
Sure.
the governor for folks tuning in? And what does your service entail to Californians? What is that? What do you do for Californians essentially?
Yeah, so I have this big fancy title they gave me called Chief Service Officer for the state of California. And it's a unique position, and I'm very honored that the governor asked me to come and serve and do this job. He created a cabinet level position for service, really because of his deep commitment to community, his deep commitment to making sure that we all feel connected and that we help each other and that we build bridges to really lift up the most vulnerable throughout our state. And so he wanted to focus on service. He wanted to focus on volunteerism. He wanted to focus on building communities and lifting them up. And so created this cabinet level position and asked me to come run this incredible organization called California Volunteers, which does many things, including oversees the AmeriCorps program. Many of you may have heard of AmeriCorps. And also just recently launched Californians for All, which is a brand new initiative to try to engage all Californians, but mostly young people we're focusing on in the beginning to be part of this COVID fight and to make sure that even as we're apart, we're helping each other and staying connected. But the job and the position, which is really fun and really exciting, stems from the governor's deep commitment to finding ways for us all to connect in more meaningful ways.
Wow, okay, that's incredible. And do you know like how many other states have this position, you know, California chief or like chief service officer for other states?
Yeah, I don't know how many other states have the title. This is the only state I know that has a cabinet level position for service. Again, I think coming from the governor's deep commitment to these issues. But the AmeriCorps program exists in every state. And so there's an office that's focused on AmeriCorps in every state. California Volunteers happens to be the one that does it for our state here in California, as well as the many other volunteer programs that we run as well, in addition.
Okay, wow, that's pretty unique. That's pretty sick. So, you know, shout out to Gavin Newsom right there. I think a lot of folks, including myself, were taken by surprise and excitement from watching you go on live TV with Gavin Newsom, you know, a little while back and discuss the launch of Californians for All, as you were just talking about right now. Do you mind discussing a little bit more what this program does and how us healthy Californians can support this cause?
Yeah, it was awesome, and thank you, one, for watching it, and then for giving me the opportunity to talk about it today. So we launched this brand new service initiative called Californians for All, where we're calling on all Californians to help step up and help California really meet this moment, which is an unbelievably unique and extraordinary time that obviously none of us have been through before. And it's unique because many of us are feeling I have to be isolated in order for us to be successful in defeating COVID. But it doesn't mean we have to be emotionally disconnected. And it doesn't mean we can't continue to build community and build emotional connections that are so critical, especially during this time. And so Californians for All is a new initiative to ask people to join what we're doing. Sign up at this website we've created, californiansforall.ca.gov. We've made it super easy for you just to sign up, tell us what you're interested in, the kind of work that you would like to do in your community, and then we are going to connect you to the right organizations, whether they be food banks or Meals on Wheels or other groups that are doing incredible work on critical needs around the state. But we're also going to ask you to do things that you can do from your home literally today, things like checking on a neighbor, or making a facial covering, or making a meal for a neighbor who may need it. So there's lots of ways to be active, and we're asking you to join us to be part of this fight and help us get through this together.
Oh, okay, that's really cool. When I heard about this, I remember I was talking to Christina, so someone in your office, about this, and she told me, you know, like, oh, there's this big new launch that we're going to be doing, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder what it is. And then, you know, the very next day, y'all did Californians for All. I was like, wow, that's a very sick initiative. Do you know?
Yeah, you got the sneak preview.
Yeah, we got the sneak preview of it. Do you know how many other states have like launched this new type of platform, or is California unique in being the only state to do some type of massive service initiative within their own state?
That's a great question. California loves to lead. It's one of the things that we're proud of. And so I don't know of another initiative at this scale where a governor has stepped up and called on all people of the state to help join the effort and volunteer. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Nothing comes on the top of my head, but I do think it's an example of how our governor and just the spirit of California is to lead and to lean into a moment that is obviously so difficult for everyone. There's literally no one that's untouched by this crisis, and so it's a time for us to call on everyone to be part of the solution as well, which is a really important message. And by the way, that message of in order to tackle this challenge is going to require everybody, is not just a message for COVID. It's a message for climate change, for solving homelessness, inequality, poverty. These big issues that we have to tackle in our society are going to require all of us to be part of the solution and to come together and connect and build bridges in new ways. And this new initiative is just the start of our ability to build that kind of society here in California.
Oh, that's very unique. That's very amazing. So I like how this goes beyond just the COVID-19 pandemic. This goes into really creating a more just and equitable world, am I hearing, here in the state of California. And that's very, I'm really glad that this initiative is happening at such a state level as well. And I know earlier you were talking about ways that we can continue to serve our communities within our homes. So the reason why I brought that up was because I was kind of thinking, like, how can immunocompromised folks or folks who aren't sure, about the type of support that they can support in their communities, in the comfort of their own homes? Because I know that folks still want to support, but sometimes they don't have the ability to. What do you have to say to folks that are like more immunocompromised or vulnerable?
Yeah, really important question. And it's a big part of our message, which is we're saying if you're healthy and you're comfortable going outside and you're healthy and you're comfortable doing things like working at a food bank or giving blood or delivering meals, then we need you to do it. But if you want to stay at home, which is a huge part of what we need people to do to get through this crisis and keep communities healthy, then there's lots of ways that you can actually make a difference. And it doesn't matter what part of the state you're in or where you are. You can call on a neighbor. You can check on someone who's isolated. We've heard stories, just touching stories of seniors especially who have been left isolated at home and running out of food supplies, who reached out through our neighbor to neighbor program, and we were able to help them get food when they're otherwise running out of it. And that's the kind of impact that literally every Californian can have from their living room. You can also make facial coverings at home and donate those and pass those out to others who may need them. You can make a meal for somebody and give it to a neighbor, someone who might be isolated. You can actually sign up, and one of the things we're doing is connecting people to the United Ways, who helps run a program called 211, where if you are isolated and need resources, you can call 211 and find out what resources are available for you. That whole system is driven by volunteers who are trained. And so if you want to be a 211 operator at home and help people get the resources they need, you can do that without leaving your house. So the message of Californians for All is simple. It's for all. It's for everyone to be able to make a difference who's healthy and able. And we really need everyone to step up in this moment.
Okay, I really appreciate that, Josh. So for immunocompromised folks out there, we can do it from the comfort of our own homes as well. So now I'm just going to ask a question that's maybe a little bit more tricky. So just thinking about Californians for All right now, I was hearing some concern from folks about the platform. Some folks were concerned that folks that look healthy and want to support their communities can still be carriers of the virus. What do you think about these concerns?
Yeah, so there's a reason why it was so important for us to put guidelines on the website, which you will find if you go to californiasforall.ca.gov. That come from the Director of Public Health and the Public Health Department of California, which makes it very clear. We're asking those who can and are able and healthy to go volunteer to do the same thing that we're asking every Californian, which is adhere first and foremost to the guidelines of our Public Health Department and our public health professionals. So if you're feeling sick, don't go outside and don't go volunteer. Use facial coverings when you can. Make sure that you're washing your hands. Make sure that you're using personal protective equipment that may be necessary at certain locations. And so, again, nothing is more important in this situation than people's health and the health of the community. And so we ask you to follow those guidelines put out by the Department of Public Health, and make sure to know that you can volunteer and you can do it safely.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, Josh. And so after like these stay-at-home orders end, what will the future of your platform, Californians for All, look like? Do you plan on continuing to expand the platform afterwards, as like how you were talking about with like houselessness and like other types of issues plaguing the state?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and I think this moment is a generational moment when people are realizing that the issues and challenges of our communities affect literally every single one of us. And just like we've relied on the collective sacrifice and spirit of service that really every Californian that's engaged in the stay-at-home orders and has made sure to protect themselves and their communities over the last several weeks, we're going to need that spirit moving forward, and we're going to need that spirit of community and of collective service and civic engagement, like I talked about earlier, to tackle every problem we have, whether it's homelessness or climate change or poverty. And so our hope is that we learn something from this very unique moment where we all see how we're connected and we all understand how we're in this together. And we use that momentum and that energy and that passion to go on and do really great things. In my experience, I'll just close in quickly, and as a veteran in the military, is the power of service and the power of volunteerism and the power of people coming together is you realize that when you have a common mission, a common purpose, it doesn't matter what your background is or what your beliefs are, what your perspective is, or what country calls you citizen. What matters is that you're in it together and you have something to accomplish together. And when that happens, you can accomplish really great things. And that's the kind of spirit we want to bring with us moving past COVID with our Californians for All program.
Well, I'm very excited about the future, and I'm super optimistic about that. Hopefully, this platform is able to expand beyond, obviously, just the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm excited for what your office, how your office and your role develops here in the state, and hopefully other states can take note of California and what we're doing here to really unite us in a way across the nation, essentially. So I'm very excited about that.
Good.
So my next question is like how can we continue to support our essential workers that continue to fight for us each and every day in our hospitals, healthcare clinics, and service industries like Starbucks, Jamba Juice, and Target? Because I've had friends come up and like tell me like I've seen the lines at Starbucks, it's horrendous. The lines at Jamba Juice is horrendous, and these people in not just our hospitals but in our service industries are really struggling out there with folks that don't want to come into work, a little bit of folks that come into work. What can we do to continue to support our essential folks
Yeah, I think the most important thing we can do to protect our workers who are doing heroic things right now to keep society going and making sure the most vulnerable among us are continue to be served is by following the public health guidelines of the Department of Public Health and making sure that you are being responsible and keeping yourself safe, your family safe, and then the larger community safe. And so the reason we're asking people to stay at home, the reason we've been asking people to make sure that if you're sick, you don't go outside, that you wash your hands regularly, and you follow the other guidelines, is to make sure that we're protecting everybody. And our essential workers have been unbelievable throughout this entire crisis and stepping up in big ways. And we owe it to them to make sure that we're following the public health guidelines, and keeping ourselves healthy, and keeping the entire community healthy.
Yeah, definitely. I really commend our essential workers out there. Hopefully you get the justice and pay that you obviously all deserve. That's just a little thing for Gavin right there. Hopefully they get the pay that they all deserve as well. So yes, I'm excited about that.
That's right.
And how has your office tried to tailor public service now to like younger individuals? Because I know I've been a part of many service organizations with many older folks and little younger folks representation. How can we get the youth excited and motivated to serve our communities at such a like local level?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal question, and if you have ideas, we'll take them. And anyone that's listening, we want your ideas about how to do that, because that's the reality that we're in. I mean, if we look at, let's take one example right now of something that we're very focused on with Californians for All. right when the COVID crisis hit, our food banks in California that literally serve millions of people every day saw up to a 70% decrease in volunteers, these organizations are largely driven by volunteer personnel and volunteer capacity. And that's because largely a big percentage of their volunteer force were older Californians who now were being asked to stay at home. And so we had to very quickly call in the California Guard to help support, the California Conservation Corps. Since then, AmeriCorps stepped up, Team Rubicon, many other volunteers. But the point is that moving forward, if we're gonna be able to keep things like food banks, which serve so many in need, we're gonna need young people to step up in a big way to take the place of those volunteers who now are probably not going to be coming back. And so we need young people. So how are we doing that? I think a couple ways. One is we've partnered with some fun partners down in LA and drawing on California's top talent and working with some talent agencies to think about how do we get some messengers and some influencers that can reach people. And we're working with the different social media channels to reach millennials and young people around California. And we're also, I think our message, I hope at least, but again, this is where you tell me where we can improve. I think the message of unity, that we're all in this together, we need to unite, we need to get through this together, is one that hopefully resonates, at least we've found, resonates with young people, that people are sick of division, they're tired of seeing communities torn apart, and they understand that that on this issue and every issue, we have to unite and come together, and it has to be driven by young people leading the way.
Okay, I'm really glad that y'all are, partnering with influencers. So if I see you, so hopefully I see an ad or a video in a couple weeks with you. And do you have a favorite influencer?
That's a really good. The influencers that I have are gonna be too old. That's the problem. So how about this? You tell me your favorite influencer, and we'll see if we can get them.
Me?
Yeah, you tell me. Let's ask your community, your friends that are listening. What influencer should we try for? And we'll see if we can come back to you.
Well, if y'all can leave in the comments below who's like your favorite influencer. Maybe Josh can get that influencer to support us here with Californians for All and continuing, to serve our community. So if you can leave that below in the comments, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated.
We'll have our homework. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Just for me, my favorite influence, I follow like a lot of like fitness channels because I'm always trying to like stay in shape. I'm not a Navy man like you. You're a Navy man, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
So I wasn't the most fit before this. So my favorite, Beyonce. Someone said Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Charlie D'Amelio.
Okay. All right.
Other folks. Yeah. So
I like. We're starting at the top. I like it. I like the challenge. I appreciate it.
We're starting at the top. Maybe Kim Kardashian. What, isn't she like a lawyer now? You're a lawyer. You have a JD in law as well. So maybe.
I'll just drop the lawyer card with her. We should be fine.
Just drop the lawyer card. Drake, our favorite rapper.
That's right. All right. I got it now.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to really get folks to Steph Curry. We're in the Bay Area. Steph Curry. Yes, that is.
All right. So if we get Steph Curry to talk about Californians for All, you'll be impressed by that.
I will be a million times impressed by that.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, so thank you for getting us excited about that. I'm excited about what the future holds for our youth here in California, and hopefully more folks are able to get involved.
Absolutely, we need you.
We do need our younger folks. As for your role as like California's Chief Service Officer, what does like service mean to you during these trying times? I know you kind of like discussed that, kind of trickled down in our questions, but if you want to like directly address that, what does service mean to you during these trying times?
Yeah, I think service is critical now, and there's a reason that almost every day the governor in his daily briefings talks about the need to serve, talks about the need to match our passion with real action around volunteering and coming together. One is on a personal level, and the governor talks about this all the time, the happiest people he knows, and I think all of us can relate to this at some level, is is when you give back, when you're connected to other people and you feel like you have purpose, that brings enormous joy to our lives personally. And this is a time when it's very difficult for every single one of us, and so we need that kind of joy in our lives, and a lot of it comes from having purpose and serving others and helping others. And then, like I talked about before, in order for us to get through this, we literally have to rely on everyone to be responsible, as so many have been for the last several weeks, but also rely on each other to protect the most vulnerable. And that's why we're asking people to volunteer at food banks. It's why we're asking people to donate blood if they can. It's why we're asking people to check on a neighbor, make a meal for somebody in need who might be isolated. And so service is very practical. It's necessary. We have to serve each other, and we have to help each other, and we have to be united if we're going to get through this.
Definitely. Thank you so much once again for that message, Josh. And so this next message is kind of like what we were discussing earlier about moving forward. So as this pandemic has unfolded, we have seen public service, community and civic engagement rise within our state and nation. Do you expect that to continue after this pandemic ends, or is our state and a nation going through this public service phase per se? Because, I think many times we've seen this throughout the nation. Maybe it's kind of always been about me, about our own individual rights, as we learned in the law and such like that, and less about the public good and what's good for everyone. Do you expect public service to continue to really rise after this pandemic ends and after the impending recession and such?
Yeah, really, really great question. That depends on us. I mean, that's the incredible gift that we have to live in this country, is that the kind of culture that you just talked about, the culture of service, of giving back, of thinking beyond just ourselves and our own selfish interest, creating that culture is wholly dependent on us. And do we challenge ourselves to expect more of each other? And I would argue we're in a moment when people are craving unity. People are craving something more than just thinking about making money or the next material thing. And I think we have an opportunity, which is why we've created, in part, Californians for All, to challenge each other, to challenge all of us to do more, to challenge all of us who are passionate and who care about our communities, to step up and do something in a real way. And so I do think that we're in a moment where we can change our culture, and I think people are hungry for it. And my hope is that the state of California, through things like Californians for All and some of our other programs with the governor's leadership, will provide the opportunities for people to come together in the way that we all want to.
I really hope you're right, Josh. I really hope folks do come together, that this is a turning moment in our society, and that that we can see that public service is still very essential and still very important. It's not just about me. It's about all of us together, definitely. And we did have this question by my former amazing teacher, Miss Mary Lopez, below. Can high schoolers join Californians for All as well, or is this just for adults?
No, we're asking everybody. So high schoolers absolutely can, not just for adults. We want everyone who's healthy and able and wants to be part of making a difference in their community to join us. So please do that at californiansforall.ca.gov, and we'll be in touch with you soon.
Okay, that's incredible. And I just want to ask, now that we were talking about Cal earlier, your beautiful alma mater and my current school right now, how did your experience at Berkeley shape your life into becoming the individual you are, deeply working in service work? So how did Berkeley really shape you into becoming this public servant that you are today?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. It was instrumental and incredibly formative in my life at Cal. I was one of those, I'd studied political science, as we talked about, I think, before we got started. I was one of those student government nerds, and I actually was an ASUC senator, and I was vice president of external affairs for the ASUC. So my service started at Cal. But the reason why I got involved in student government, and the reason why I was so passionate about being a student activist, was because at least when I was there, and I know some of these issues still persist, we literally had students who were sleeping in their cars. We had students who never had an apartment and were constantly couch surfing. and the housing affordability was crushing students. And so I thought it was really important that we have a voice, and I love the Berkeley spirit. I love the Berkeley history of activism. And so my service started as a member of the ASUC, and it was my job to lobby, and we lobbied the state of California. And we actually got legislation passed when I was a student at Cal that provided millions of dollars for the first time ever in the state of California for student housing. And that was because of the work that we did to organize and activate students at Berkeley campus, but also statewide. And that's really what kicked off my interest in continuing to serve and be involved in policy, because I saw the impact that it has in changing a lot of people's lives in a big way if you have the right people making decisions.
Oh, that's incredible. Thank you so much for your work, what you've done here at Cal. That's almost inspiring me enough to join student government here at Cal.
You should.
It's a tough place out there. It's ACC, yeah. Sorry to my ACC people out there, but yeah, definitely we really appreciate the work that you do there right now. Obviously, those issues still persist and continue here at Berkeley. Food insecurity, housing insecurity. The Bay Area is, still riddled with so many issues, and we're still continuing to support our community. And shout out to the UC Berkeley Public Service Center. Again, a lot of the amazing work is being done through the Public Service Center in order to create a more just and equitable world. So if you're looking to make a change at UC Berkeley, the UC Berkeley Public Service Center continues to do some of the amazing work that Josh just discussed as well, along with the ASUC government officials. So thank you so much, Josh. I didn't know that about you.
Thank you.
So now I know you were. I'm gonna have to look back in the old archives to find your
exactly.
you as a public.
We may have hit that. Yeah, I don't know why that's not on my bio. That should be like the first line, I think.
Yeah,
right?
ASUC Senator, UC Berkeley. That's what we should have put down.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for having me today. Thank you for your show, for building this space for people to talk about service and coming together and how to make a difference. And when I said that the culture that we want to create is up to us, I meant that, and you are doing the exact kind of things that we need, which is to challenge each other, to lift up the importance of these kinds of issues, and to make sure that we all, and remind us that we all are in this together, and we're going to get through this together. So thank you.
So thank you so much, Josh, for joining me here today. I just have one very quick final question, Josh, for you. I know this is a question. I know there's a question that all of us are wanting to know right now. So as someone who works in the office of the governor, and I think a question that's on everyone's minds right now is, when do you think the stay-at-home orders for the whole state, will end? Will it be extended until May 31st, like Bay Area counties that have already announced that already?
So I think the governor is going to do exactly what he's been doing the whole time, which is that question, the decision around the question you just asked, is going to be driven by the data, by the scientists, and by our public health officials. So when our public health officials tell and advise the governor that it's time, and that it's safe for all of us in our communities to lift those, then I think you'll see him start to make those changes.
All right. Thank you so much, Josh, for joining me here today. I know you're a very busy person, a very busy man here at the state capitol. We appreciate you, and hopefully we're able to connect again in the future. So once more, everyone, Californians for All. I know I saw that in the comments a lot. Californians for All. That's where you can go onto the platform and really try to engage and serve your community during these trying times. And I hope to see you again a lot more in the future, Josh, and on TV or wherever wherever people get their content again, to continue to discuss this platform on a state level.
I hope you have me back for this conversation. Really appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And once more, go Bears. And if you go to that school in the South, no one cares.
You can still sign up at californiansforall.ca.gov.
You can still sign up, but go Bears. Thank you, Josh, so much.
Bears. Thank you.
And thank you so much, everyone that joined us here today. All right. See you, Josh.